earlier this week on Tuesday, I got to be at a corporate event, a business event, not a faith space, with a Rock Harbor business person, Dave Rosendahl. And there's this convention where over 1,000 people were there from a particular line of business, digital solutions. And within that conference, within that convention, there was one little breakout track for a particular topic. And it was all about burnout and the business person. And Dave, along with a couple of his colleagues who are not believers, said, look, we got to do something to address mental health among business professionals. And so I've done a lot of research on hope. I do some work with faith leaders and church leaders and pastors about resilience. And he goes, will you present some of your content on resilience to the business community? I go, I've never done that before, but I'll try. And he really helped me kind of contextualize this and coach this and make it. So I did, there's about 120 people in this little breakout track. I did a little presentation first, and then we did a workshop afterwards about how this can work in your teams. And then the third and final session was this Q&A panel. It was me with a couple others, and Dave was moderating. And I went to him before it, and I go, okay, you ready for this? And I think he was kind of just like being playful, like tongue-in-cheek, and he goes, well, I'm going to just let the Spirit lead me. And I go, all right. But actually, the Spirit did lead him. And he was just so masterfully curating the questions and directing traffic. At one point, he just pivots completely, and he asks a question to the room. And as soon as he asks this question, people start grabbing the mic and crying. Grown men in their 50s and 60s saying, I've never talked about this, but I'm carrying this pain in my life. Nobody knows the pressures that I face. I'm afraid I'm not going to have any business next week. Someone goes, I don't even know how to relate to my ex anymore. Someone goes, my 25-year-old daughter won't even talk to me. And people are asking questions, and they're crying with tears because they have nowhere to go with their pain. And I'm watching the Holy Spirit lead Dave to unlock this vulnerability in the room. And then toward the end of that final Q&A panel, a woman raises her hands and she directs the question to me, and she goes, hey, look, I'm like close to retiring, all this stuff. She's like, life has just been so hard. I've been through so many challenges, and I get grit and I get resilience, but like, feels like it's not enough. Like, what else can we do to cope with the hardship of life? I've been a good boy up to this point. I've been very good. And I said, I love that question, and you're right. There are these things where it just feels like it's not enough. And I said, if you'd permit me, it's impossible for me to answer that question without referring to my faith. I talked about the hope of resurrection and how all of us at some point need something that is beyond ourselves. And the room erupts in applause. People find Dave after the meeting. They go, Dave, if that's what church is like, I need to go to church. Listen, that didn't happen because of me. That happened because somebody in the marketplace said, the Spirit of the Lord has anointed me, and I'm going to fulfill God's purpose with God's power in the world. See, that's you every day.